It's with the nerves. I mean, so if you just happen to notice, yeah, when you have a spinal fracture, at a certain point in your spine, it will actually trigger the valves to open and things change. And so if you happen to see that, it's not that he's just really enjoying your head to toe, it's the fact that he probably has a broken back, and you need to note that, because that's an important piece of information to know, right?
That's
now,
different if it grows while you're doing it though.
Yeah, right. So now, while you're actually checking the long bones, right, it's important on the long bones that you want to check both directions, right? Long bone, the joint, the long bone, right? And the same thing goes for the arms. So when you go to check the long bone, you just grab from both sides, you're kind of pushing in, and you're seeing if it's moving at all. If it's broken, you're going to hear what's called crepitus. It's going to hear a little bit of sound. It's going to sound like basically two pieces of like raw pipe rubbing against one another. It's going to be kind of gritty, kind of a rough kind of a feeling. It's the rough edges of the bones rubbing against one another. It's called crepitus, right? And sometimes you can even make a sound if you hear it. So what I don't want to see, people will do this. They'll just squeeze. I'm not rubbing the bone against one another. I don't even know if because remember your muscles are tensing up to protect it. His calf could be protecting one of the broken bones. I won't even feel it, right? I need to actually get hands not this way, separated in this way, right? So I'm checking the long bone, right? Here's his knee, checking the knee. Is it still in place? Does it feel solid, or does it feel like it's slipping around? Down here the same way, in and out, both sides, okay? Do the other leg as well, right? Here's the knee, right? Here's his shin. Now, if he's conscious, I can ask him to, in this case, so let's say he's awake, right? So when I get down to this point, I can grab his feet, say, sir, can you pull your toes up? Are they even? Even pressure. If one's going harder than the other or farther, is that normal for you? Do you always have one leg, farther than the other? He may say, yeah, I had a stroke a couple years back. Okay, great. Do you push down? Again, are they even? If it's uneven, sir, is that normal for you? Do you have it? Because sometimes people have either nerve damage or a stroke or something else where they may have one side weakness. If it's unusual, don't go, oh my God, you had a stroke. You say, is that normal for you? You say, oh yeah, I've always had a problem with my left foot. Fantastic. But don't just sit there and go, oh man, I think we have had a stroke. What? He's going to lose his mind, right?
So when you're testing that portion, because I know one of my legs is shorter than the other, will that kind of...
It shouldn't affect the muscle. I mean, you may be a little stronger in your dominant leg than you are in your non-dominant leg, but honestly, you're probably not going to notice that at this point. You're just looking to say, if one's super weak, or whatever, or if it doesn't move as much because maybe you had, you've got some pins in your ankle or something like that, you just want to look for bilateral, right? They can be... Legs, yeah, it's not the length of it, right? I would take off his shoes, check for his pulse, right, or check for his perfusion on his toes, and don't worry about so much the pulse as you can the perfusion. Now, I know he wears nail polish, and so I'm gonna have a hard time kidding. Right, but yeah, if you can't catch it on there, you can catch it on the arch of the foot as well. The same kind of perfusion test you do in the hands, right? You're not done yet. You've done the lower extremities. You've got to do the upper extremities, right? I'm gonna reach in like this, his elbow, right? His hands, right? Come on this side. Do not step over the patient. I'm going to say that again. Do not step over the patient. As you do in the device that you have, like for me, I have a breech bar, like a demo bar. That thing comes off and smacks him in this. I've been smacked in the side of the head with axe handles before from firefighters stepping over me. Don't step over the patient. All right. This side here, check his arms. Okay. So now, if he's conscious, 2 fingers. Going to come around the other side. If he is conscious, 2 fingers. And 2 fingers. All right, so can you squeeze hard scan it? All right, 2 fingers. Give him 3 fingers, he'll break one of them. Give him 1 finger, he's not gonna be able to squeeze hard enough. 2 fingers. Put 3 fingers in there, and someone like him or me that's got a good grip, you'll come back with broken fingers, right? Because I can break your hand if I want to, right? What I'm looking for again is it even. The reason why I crossed over is a reminder. If it was weak on my right side, that's his right side. If it's weak on his left side, my left side is his left side. That's why I cross my hands over, right? Again, weakness. Is that normal for you, sir? Do you always have a weak grip? I just had recent neck surgery. My left hand only had like 30 pounds of grip strength in it for months, right? So for me, that was normal at that moment. I didn't have any additional injury, right? So again, ask, is that normal for you?
It's important also to do a sweep on the arms and legs too. Like if he was wearing a leather jacket and you couldn't feel the blood, wouldn't that help get the blood out?
Well, obviously, if you can't visualize it, you need to cut it off.
Okay.
Right? And that's the other thing too. So we're going through here, right? If he's tense for any reason, okay, well he's tense, but what's going on? I can't see through his shirt. Shirt comes out, shears come off, shirt comes off, right? Because is he bruised? Is there something else going on? Is there an impalement that's not bleeding all that much that I can't see? Has he got a bullet wound, stab wound? What's he got on? I can't visualize through this shirt. I got to be prepared to remove this. If I'm going down the leg and it feels kind of funky, broken, whatever, pants come off, right? I gotta see that leg. We do not have x-ray vision, so you have to expose the wound. Whenever possible, for ladies, can you maybe cut up the sides so you can do this and cut it back over again, so they're not just woo out to the world, right? Can you do that for them? Yes, you can. Guys too, right? Because again, you may put the shirt over them to keep them warm again, so don't mangle the shirt. That being said, looks like a bullet wound, looks like a stab wound, don't cut through it, cut around it, because that's evidence, right? And so if it looks like there's been violence involved or something like that, go around whatever that is, whatever that entry wound is on the clothing, because that's evidence.
So if he has like one right here and one right here, you just.
Well, if he's got one right here and one right here, then I'm sure he was never alive to begin with. So, yeah, no, but the point, yeah.
You cut around, you just cut the sides,
Yeah.
that way
Come
you
up
leave the
this
whole
way here.
flap open.
Oh, okay.
Right,
You just leave the actual entry part alone, that way they can actually see what it was.
Okay.
Yeah, right, makes sense?
You'd be surprised how much the bullet does to
Say again about the abdomen, what you're looking for, and what is the purpose of this?
Well, the thing of it is that you know, if you're using this hand coming down, your muscles, right, you may actually push so hard that his natural tension happens, right? So you kind of want to have it be natural. So if I'm pushing down with this hand, it's easy for me to push too hard, to be painful, to actually injure him. If this hand's like a buffer, I just kind of lay it on there, and I use my other hand as the actual effort, right? And in that way, there's if my fingers, when you push down on your hands, your fingers get taut, everything else, there's no bounce to it, there's no cushion. And so you could actually push so hard, he gets ticklish or something else, and he guards it, and then you're like, oh, okay, he's got something wrong when there's nothing there. So this hand just laying there, not doing anything, it gives me kind of a cushion, right? And that way I'm getting a truer reading than if I'm pushing on both.
And what are we looking for?
When you're doing this, it's just, is it tense, right? And so is he guarding it? Was it rigid before you ever pushed? So if you were to push on his chest, it would feel pretty similar if he was already guarding it. It wouldn't give at all. There'd be no bounce, no give at all. It would feel almost like you're pushing on his ribs. That's a sign of guardedness, right? When you are pushing, if he winces, if you see that in his face, that's a sign of pain. That could be tenderness, right? And so that's when you're doing it, you're kind of looking at his face when you're actually checking all the quadrants to see is he showing any kind of pain symptoms or pain signs. And that's really all you can do. You don't know what's going on. And EMRs will make you cite what organs are in what quadrants and everything else, so you have some idea. Oh, maybe it's a lacerated liver, maybe it's an appendix, maybe it's a kidney issue, whatever. We might be able to do that. We're not doing that in Cert. We're just simply, is it guarded or not? And if so, what quadrant? The docs will figure out, oh, that's where the liver is, we got a problem,
So is it easy enough to tell the difference between it being guarded from an injury versus having a stranger stick his hands down his pants?
Well, that's if you're talking through what's going on, then it's not going to be whatever. And honestly, some people will say, I'm ticklish. So you're not going to really get a whole lot out of me, right? So then you'll know at least that going in. But unconscious, again, it's only going to be really tense if he's already got an injury and that's just your natural body's response to it. That's really all we're looking for, right? In the facial expression.
If you've got distension in there, it is harder than a six-pack.
Your body's
thing.
like,
It is.
yeah.
It's like a board. It's
Literally, it will feel like you're trying to check his ribs. I mean, it'll be that tight because your body's like, no, you're not touching that, right? You're not getting it.
I felt complete internal bleeding on me. I had a person I was feeling on, and that felt like I was pushing a rock. There was no give at all. It's like it's just compressed.
Just picture you're flexing your abs. That's what's happening. Your muscles are taut.
It's more than that. It's
Yeah,
even
it's like rock hard.
more solid than that.
Does that make sense?
And the pelvis, we would know if it's